Inspired by ordinary people doing work they love, with people they love, in places they love, creating something of value to others. That's significance. That's extraordinary. That's something significant with Mac Erster.
Mr. Happy Living here. I just love entrepreneurs and artists and energy healers and innovators and people from every walk of life that have discovered their reason for being on this planet. And that's why I love Deborah Jane Sutton. She's an entrepreneur and just happens to be an intuitive energy healer and mentor too. So Deborah, welcome to the Something Significant Show.
Hello, Matt. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to be talking to you again today.
Wonderful. We're going to have a great time. So tell our viewers and listeners about the exciting things you're doing to leave your exclamation mark on the world.
Okay. I think my reason for extra is to help people raise their vibrations. I see you mentioned that I was an intuitive energy healer, and I see everything as energy. And it's all about raising our energetic vibration, our frequency. And that's how I help people, raising their vibration in all areas of their life. The two universal laws that govern me and us and the universe, everything is energy, like attracts like. The more we can raise our vibration and help other people raise their vibration, then the greater reality we will experience.
Awesome. And so let's journey back a little bit in time and tell us what you were doing back in 2010.
Yes, it's really interesting. I think this is a really important point for everybody to look back at what they've been doing up until this time, because you know, everything that we've done in life is leading us to this point, the Great Awakening. And 2010, I moved to Spain. And it was this area of Spain where I met my husband, and he's played a very significant role in my life and my purpose. And this is where I, developed into the intuitive energy healer that I am. So, and looking back at all the things that I've done, I realize now why I did them and how they're helping me, and the significance of all the things I've done in my life, because now it's all coming together. And you said the reason that we're here on this planet at this time. For those of us that realize our purpose, it's a really exciting place to be.
Couldn't agree more. All right, let's go back another 10 years. Before that, let's say back to 2000. What was Deborah Jane Sutton doing in 2000?
I think in 2000, I was learning my lessons, I would say. I was definitely less conscious. I was in a relationship that wasn't serving me. And it was serving me because it was serving me to realize that I needed to love myself. So that was a very significant time, obviously, when you realize that you need to put yourself first, love yourself, fill yourself with energy before you can help others. It's like that oxygen mask in the aeroplane, isn't it? We need to have ours on firmly first before we can help other people, so that we can help other people from a place of abundance and not from a place of depletion. So I was busy learning to love myself, but also the other thing that happened in 2000, which I think was relevant, was my son was born. And for me, that was relevant because he helped me strive to be a better person every year. And someone said to me quite recently, they thought I had done quite well despite having been a single mum. And I thought about it. It didn't sit comfortably with me. And then I realized that I had become a better person because I was a single mum. And it's just a different perception, but that was the way I looked at it.
Very good. Now, share a few words about the idea that it really does take a lifetime to create the life of your dreams.
Okay, yeah, it's an interesting one. It does take a lifetime in a way because we're constantly growing and constantly expanding. But I think once we become aware of what's going on, I think there are things that we can do to speed up our own evolution. So, yeah, like I said, looking back at our life, you can see that everything is pointing to this direction. But some people have really sudden awakenings, don't they?
Enlightenment. Boom.
Yes, one of my favorite authors is Anita Moorjani, who had a near-death experience and went on to, really change her life around. And it's funny because there was, when I was studying yoga at my advanced yoga teacher training, I remember it was a very healing place. There was a lot of, as your vibrations rise in a place like that, with the knowledge and the energy. I remember saying to somebody, "Oh, I would just like a break from this like expansion and just have a bit of a holiday." And someone said to me, "Be grateful that you're having your awakening in small, manageable chunks, because some people have it in really seriously, sudden or adverse situations." So I've always thought about that. Yes, my awakening has come at a very manageable speed. But I am aware of some people that have, and I think this year, 2020, people are waking up with a bit of a shock.
I think you're right. So, as you know, we've talked before, my unique definition of significance contains 4 elements, right? It's doing things you love, in places you love, with people you love, and the 4th element, creating something of value to others. So it's doing, but it's also giving. But to be a giver, you need excess capacity in your life. So my question is, what are the personal practices, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, financial, emotional, what are your practices for increasing your capacity so you can take good care of yourself and still have more to give to others?
Oh, yes, it is what we said before about looking after yourself, and a lot of people do refer to it as selfishness. In fact, Caroline Myss actually talks about the importance of going through a narcissistic stage, which I think is a little bit extreme, but I think we do need to go through a selfish stage, because we need to realize that the more we look after ourselves and raise our own vibration, the more we can help other people. And my self-care routine is priority for me. I mean, I live in the orange groves. I swim in the sea, in the pool. I have a dog. I walk up the mountains with him. And I need all of that time. I love being on massage couches. So I'm always seeking out new energy healing modalities. I mean, I share them, but I also receive them. So I have plenty of time with my family. Yes, it's very, and yoga, of course. I'm a yoga teacher and a yogi. So just to be able to spend time practicing yoga in a beautiful country place, spending time in nature, super important. I know you agree with that one. It's super important. So I have lots of things to help me keep my vibrations high. That's what it's about, isn't it? And the other thing, which I think people tend to feel guilty about, but I've got my head around it now, is investing in yourself. Investing in yourself. If what you're going to spend your time, energy, money on, if it's going to result in you raising your vibration, then that is an investment that you need to make. And if you feel selfish doing it, just tell yourself that you're going to be able to serve other people so much better if you spend that time, energy, and money on yourself. So
100%, right? If I invest $100 in the stock market and that gives me $110 back, that's not self. I can use that money to help others. But we don't think of it sometimes as the investment. We can actually get a return on our investment. That's feeling better, having more energy, raising your level, as you say, but giving you the capacity to give to others then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm less sort of financial orientated. When I invest in myself, it's very much, I've just actually come back from a 4-day retreat It was a free your voice retreat. I mean, I run retreats, as you know, online and here in Valencia. So, but to actually go on retreats, I think it's important, you know, to experience the other side of what you do. And like I said, I will invest in myself with healing modalities and just learning and studying. You see, studying itself, you know, can be expensive, but it's an investment, isn't it? So that's one of the, I love studying anything. You just, well, we'll get on to inspiration, of course, and your fantastic book. But it is all about following your inspiration, isn't it? And so if I'm inspired to study something, then I won't worry about the investment. It's like, you know, I will do it.
So, quick comment on something that I've recently learned, and I think a lot of people experience this. And I've said for many years now, I've said, you know, one of the best ways to improve your life and to be happier is to stop doing things that make you feel bad. But I've recently expanded that. If I'm doing something that's good for me, right? But I don't feel good doing it. Like, let's just say running. A lot of people run, they look miserable. And I just finally had this flash of knowledge, and it says, wait a second, life is also too short to do things that are good for you that make you feel bad. There's plenty of other things you can do instead of the things that make you, that you can't hold on to because you don't like them, right?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. And for me, it's all about listening to the heart. Because, and this is one of the things I do teach online and at workshops, is, you know, listening to the heart. Because when we're inspired, or if, because everything's energy, remember, even the jogging or whatever it is, you know, everything's energy, it's coming in. If it's lifting your heart and expanding you, then that's a sign that that's the way for you to go. If you're feeling contracted, that, you know, if you said to me, come jogging, I have to be honest with you, Matt, my heart might sink a little bit and I might contract because jogging isn't for me, you know? So exactly. I mean, what's good for one person isn't good for another. And it brings us on to inspiration, because you have to ask yourself, where does our inspiration come from? And why is this person inspired to jog and I'm not? It's quite simple that we came here to be ourselves, and we are all unique, and we're all inspired by different things, and we're good at different things, and we enjoy different things. Well, it's important to do what we're inspired to do, what we're good at, and what we enjoy, because that's where we find our purpose. And I know you agree. You know?
That's why I love talking to you. I have these weird ideas, and then you put them in beautiful words with that beautiful accent. So for now, let's take a quick commercial break to spread a little love for our awesome sponsors this month, Zona Plus and Happy Living. Mr. Happy Living here. I love good things made by good people. That's why I love Zona Plus, the world's first software-controlled handheld device that improves cardiovascular health. You're going to love it too. I use mine almost every day to keep my blood pressure right where it should be. What surprised me though is this little device has been adding muscle to my biceps too. I walk around all day feeling pumped. Check them out at Zona.com. Use coupon code HAPPY for $50 off. Plus, for every order placed during the month of October, I'll donate another $50 to WYTV7. Okay, and we're back. Hey listeners, do yourself a health favor and go buy a Zona Plus right after you finish listening to this show. You're going to love it. I use mine every day and I love it. But now let's get back to my special guest, Deborah Jane Sutton. So Deborah, in my second book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I explore the idea that big transformations and discovery of purpose often come from devastation. Some terrible illness, a sudden death, something horrible happens to shake your life. But I've used a happier way to create transformations in my life using inspiration. So my question is, was there a specific moment or situation when either devastation or inspiration revealed to you the purpose you were meant to live?
I mean, you're totally right. I mean, I agree with you completely. And as we on before, some people do wake up through adversity. I mean, the thing about adversity is we do grow through adversity. And that's why so many people are waking up at the moment, right? With the adversity that's going on. And it's funny, there was a book called Love, Medicine and Miracles by Bernie Siegel. And he says that if you have an emotional trauma, you are going to grow. And then he says, whether you grow a tumor or grow spiritually, the choice is yours. And I love that, because we do, and it's back to Anita Moorjani, you know, she was in that situation, and, you know, she had the choice to grow spiritually or to get sick, you know, and that's the way it is, isn't it? So, but to answer your question, I am very fortunate that my awakening has happened gradually over time. I mean, yes, I've already mentioned, I had a first marriage that kind of reflected my own lack of self-love, I think is the best way to explain it. And so that was a bit of awakening. But apart from that, what's for me, it's been the following the heart. We use the word inspiration, obviously, a lot. And for me, it's about following the heart, because that's where we feel the inspiration, right? And I've always been one to follow my heart. And I think that's how I've got to where I am. I think that's played a significant role. The more you listen to your heart, because your heart is your soul, right? Yeah. And if you listen to your thoughts is your mind, and your soul is the fifth dimensional energy body. Your mind is your fourth dimensional energy body. So if you want to listen to your higher self, you need to listen to your heart. And what's going to stop you listening to your heart is your mind. But you need to remember, which one do you want to go with? The higher one. And the higher one is the soul, of course.
So when I was writing my book, I was trying to figure out how these things felt. And I referred to it when I got an inspiration as a flash of, like a lightning bolt coming from the universe. But as I've been playing in this realm of happy living for now 6 years, I've been learning that I think it's not out there, it is in here. And it's not the universe talking to me, it's actually my spirit, my true authentic self. So put that in pretty words.
Exactly. I mean, we are all one. We are all connected. We are actually all high vibrating energy. We just don't realize it because we're living in this very dense, human existence. But that's exactly what it is. And the inspiration is very personal, isn't it? As we said before, it's very personal. And it's coming from your but the higher frequency part of you. Because if you look at, as I said, I look at everything as energy. And our physical bodies are our third dimensional, our emotional, mental bodies are the fourth dimensional. Our soul is in the fifth dimensional, but Matt, we've got 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th dimensional until we get up to Christ consciousness, right? So, but we can't access that now because we're literally too dense. In an energetic way of looking at it, we're too dense. So it is a case of just accessing the next layer, and that's why it's so important. And our inspiration is definitely coming from ourselves, but our higher frequency part of ourselves. And the point I would like to make about inspiration, because what I'm finding with my clients a lot, and one of the reasons I focus on releasing trapped emotions and releasing limiting beliefs, is because so many people, when I'm reading for people, so many people will say to me, oh, that's my dream job, because I do soul profiles and things like that. And they'll say, oh, that's my dream job. And that's, I've always wanted to do that. And I'll say to them, why aren't you doing your dream job? And why aren't you doing what you want to do? Straight away, it'll be a limiting belief. I've had people say things like, oh, there's no market in my area, I can't afford it, people will laugh at me. It's these constant limiting beliefs, and it's those, and they run so deep. Yeah. I even catch myself with them sometimes. We're just not dreaming big enough. Yeah. I mean, you and I are the big dreamers, right? And even we are not dreaming big enough, Matt.
I remember when I was writing my book, I defined those things that get in our way. I defined them as the gravity that holds our life in place. And I came up with that idea late in the game. And then my daughter, when I came up with it, my daughter says, "Dad, what's your gravity?" And I literally said to her, this was my ego talking, "I don't have any gravity." And she called BS on me, and she says, "I really had to think about it. And what I worry about everything. I worry everything I worry about, but I don't let it stop me. I still take the next step." And that's what I think the trick is overcoming the gravity, not fixing it, because it is what it is, but taking that next step. And that leads us to, when you combine capacity with purpose, then the sky's the limit. And I've been using the word purpose, but it could be authentic self. It's a bunch of different languages. And so capacity plus purpose equals happy. That's what I've been now calling the happy formula. But I believe that real happiness, the real magic, comes from that fourth element of significance, which is giving to others. So how has your work designed to help others? How has doing work that creates value to others brought joy and magic back into your life?
I think it's the giving to others that completes. That's what completes the whole process. I want to quote Pablo Picasso because he said the meaning of life is to find your gift, but the purpose of life is to give it away. And that it couldn't be more true, because and I really find this, the purpose. Okay, if we can just go back to the word purpose, because a lot of people come to me to find their purpose, and I have to break it down that actually our purpose, we think we have to do something. It's not about doing, it's about being, but it's about being who we came here to be. And a lot of people have been so put in boxes and subdued and what have you, and suppressed, that they can't feel who they really are. So our purpose is really, I believe, experiencing and expressing who we really are. And so doing the work that I do, for example, is more fun than not working. I can't use the word work anymore, because it's only us humans that separate work and play. When you start doing what you came here to do, work becomes play. In fact, work is much better than play. And so I use the phrase abundance activity. I'll say to people, "Hi, what's your abundance activity?" As in, what activity do you do that brings you abundance? And of course, financial abundance is just a part of that whole abundance. And so, what I do, the intuitive energy healing and the readings, this is my abundance activity, and I would rather do it than not do it. So when do we retire when that's the case? We don't, do we?
We keep on going.
Sharing with others, of course.
So let me give you a couple of quotes to respond to. We've got just a couple of minutes on this. One of my favorite ones: "A total acceptance of yourself brings about a total transcendence of yourself."
Definitely. That reminds me of The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. I think that's when and it's the acceptance of everything. Remember when you said, we were in your ego when you said to your daughter, "I don't have any gravity." Okay, Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body. And I do get some people that I'll talk about trapped emotions and limiting beliefs, and I'll get people that will say, "Oh, I haven't got any trapped emotions." Everybody has trapped emotions. You could have just lost a toy as a child. Everyone's got trapped emotions. So not denying those parts of us is really, really important, because it's because we've been denying those parts of us that we're actually in the situation that we're in. And that's why healing, I see evolution and expanding consciousness, I see it on a par with healing. I think our life journey is a healing journey, because it is about not denying our shadow side. People talk about shadow side, don't they? So I think it's important not to deny it. Yeah. I think I went off tangent there. Sorry, Matt.
All right, let me give you two more. "Sometimes the heart sees what's invisible to the eyes."
Definitely.
You were
But
talking about that.
It feels it. I want to change see with feel, of course, because we're feeling the energy at every now moment. That's what we're doing. Yes.
All right, last one. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Definitely, definitely. And it's funny what you said about something that you put in your book, because in my first book, the very last sentence says, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Right on, right on. Okay, Deborah, take us home. Give us a minute or two sharing any parting remarks or comments that you'd like to leave with our audience.
Okay, well, I think as I started it is about raising vibrations, and a lot of people say it's easier said than done, and I understand that. Raising vibrations it happens in all areas of our life, obviously, because everything is energy. So I would like to mention, if I may, that my first book, talking about giving away, my first book now, I am giving it away since the beginning of this Great Awakening, and it is absolutely free to download from my website. At DeborahJaneSutton.com. Heal Yourself to Happiness. I know you've read it, and you've always been yes. I really appreciate your comments about it. But Heal Yourself to Happiness is free to download from my website at DeborahJaneSutton.com, because it really does help people start out on that journey of understanding energy, understanding how everything that we consume, I don't mean just the food, everything in our energetic field, everything around us is affecting our vibration. So, and it has lots of information about things you can do in your life to raise your vibration.
Very good. Thank you, Deborah. So if you can hear my voice and you are inspired by today's show, please donate what you can to WYTV7 so we can keep reaching ordinary people ready to create extraordinary lives. Or you could just buy a Zona Plus for your cardiovascular health, and I'll do the donating. Thank you, Deborah. You have such a beautiful spirit, and you've used it in an amazing way to help others achieve physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health, and to live with purpose, and to reach their fullest potential. So just congratulations on building a beautiful life.
Thank you, Matt. It's always a pleasure to connect with you. And I know that you are doing exactly the same over there across the pond, helping people have beautiful holidays and helping them also follow their inspiration and turn it into action.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I love the way we collaborate.
I do too. I do too.
To everybody.
Yes, and I want to thank WYTV7 for hosting and promoting our show. A special thank you to our sponsors for the entire month of October, Zona Plus and Happy Living. Remember, the more you buy, the more I'll donate. So tell your friends to buy a Zona Plus too. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to websites and social media and all things Deborah Jane Sutton. Find her, friend her, buy her books, get her free book, try a coaching session. Better yet, sign up for one of her amazing retreats in Spain. You'll be better for it. From me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be happy. We do what we do here on the Something Significant show to inspire you to make the most out of your life, to believe as I do that a better self is always possible today and every day for the rest of our lives. Be bold. If you're dreaming about it, it's time to begin it. For it's on that path, your dream, your unique and distinctive journey, that you'll find the way to make your significant mark on the world. So till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome, and this is the Something Significant show. And we're out.